Have you ever been to a South Indian temple? The greater the number of temples you visit in South, the more apparent their commonality. The symbology behind these common patterns is quite telling if one were to look into the psycho-religious narrative at play with respect to the individual devotee and his or her place and time in this chaotic universe. A grueling pilgrimage is representative of the grueling inquisition into the self. It is a form of punitive asceticism, the very act of tapas. The South Indian ancients who were aware of this declared South Indian temples as Talas or sacred sites, and every temple got its own Sthal Purana. Considering this importance of symbology and myth with respect to the temple's place and time in the universe, the layouts gain that much more semiotic significance. Every temple will have a wall that cuts off the premise from the outside world. The construction of the classical temples will be akin to that of palaces erected for the gods. The temple walls sealed off the compound from the outer world full of impurity and corruption. They serve as a function of protecting the divine piety. They also serve the limiting force necessary to make good the deities' anthropomorphic forms of worship and their unmanifest natures. And look around. You will also notice some celestial tree in the corner, generally belonging to the genus Ficus. Sometimes you'll find them right at the center of the shrine itself. The tree with its deep roots are to signify the drawing of life force from primordial chaos of the netherworld. Their solid and peaceful forms represent the subjugation of chaos with order. There will be an elaborate structure in the middle of the compound with Gopura housing the Sanctorum, with the main idols of presiding deities. This is where the unmanifest, violent power resides within the confines of the shrine. The Gopura, with its elaborate pantheons of gods and demigods, signify the plural nature of forms manifested by the unmanifest. They're eventually shown to evaporate into thin air, ether. The height signifies the knowledge of such truth as the highest ideal. They were also useful for pilgrims to locate temple from a distance in the olden days. To the discerning pilgrim, the actual physical journey to the temple destination is but a self-sacrificial prelude. The South Indian Gopura is a sign that the prelude is over. From a distance, it offers a glimpse into the nature of the Supreme Self. It is the invitation to come forth and commence the real journey, the real tapas into the self back in time. The pilgrim leaves his or her shoes at the door, engages in purification ritual in the tank before proceeding to the Sanctum Sanctorum. The Sanctum Sanctorum is the Garbhagraha, the house of the eternal womb where the deities are conceived once again anew. This inner world signifies life and rebirth, whereas the outer world beyond the temple walls signifies death and decay. This is the interplay of purity and corruptive power, order and chaos. Look at what David Dean Shulman writes in his book, Tamil Temple Myths. The South Indian temple is thus both an intensified but bounded expression of the violent power manifest in the world as a whole, and a symbol of total independence and detachment of eternity as opposed to degenerative time. The South Indian temple is truly a symbolic representation of ritually ordered universe. Thus, the macrocosmic journey to these temples, Talas, engineers a microcosmic journey within that ultimately involves self-sacrificial salvation. Think about that next time you grace the compounds of any South Indian temple.